What's going on? How y'all doing? So, Arizona Diamondbacks baseball announcer Bob Brenly, who did win a World Series as the manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks against the New York Yankees, who are my favorite baseball team back in 2001, made a racist remark about New York Mets pitcher Marcus Stroman. In the inning when Marcus Stroman was pitching, he said, and I quote, Marcus Stroman is wearing a do-rag. He says, I recall Tom Seaver wearing a do-rag back in the 70s. He was trying to be funny. Tom Seaver never rocked a do-rag. Now, rest in peace to Tom Seaver, who died of COVID a year ago. He caught the virus. He died at 75. Tom Seaver was one of the greatest pitchers ever. Pitched for the amazing Mets back in '69, won the World Series, and he was time terrific with the Cincinnati Reds during the Big Red Machine era. And before a guy named Tom Brady had the terrific time name, there was Tom Seaver, pitcher. Look him up, Hall of Famer, one of the best to ever do it. And he was great at what he did. So, but anyway, let me get back to Bob Brenly. He's popped off before in the past. And yeah, you got to call a racist out on this trash. Because remember, now I didn't find it as extremely racist because I thought he was making a point. But Jimmy the Greek, remember NFL CBS back in 1988, said black athletes ran like horses because the legs, they were built that way, what he said. He got fired. So Bob Brenly should get fired for weighing what, you know, obviously, before people come in and say, well, white people wear do-rags and Mexicans and stuff, he obviously, when he made that remark about Tom Seaver, he went racial with it. He been around long enough to know better. They're not going to do nothing to that turkey, but he should be fired, though. I mean, white boys popping off, saying what they want to say. If you're a white announcer in baseball, you don't need to say nothing. You need to shut all the way up. First of all, you don't have enough African Americans playing. Whose fault is that? And the powers that be haven't pushed to have more. Then on top of that, you don't have hardly any black managers. You can recycle Dusty Baker, who's doing good for the Houston Astros and a few others. You don't have near enough African American managers, or general managers, or owners, or announcers for that matter. So before you pop off and run your yams, know where you are. But see, he white boy with privilege, he won a ring as a manager and he think he got carte blanche to say what he want. I don't have no problem with Marcus Stroman going at this turkey at all. And some people said Stroman's been saying stuff, and I said I got no problem with it. You're a black man in a baseball uniform where even though they do lip service and acknowledge Jackie Robinson, they're not overwhelmingly going after African American players. You can't even remember the last time. You got to go back to the heydays of Barry Bonds, Ken Griffey Jr., Frank Thomas, etc., Tony Gwynn, where you had prominent African-American players that were represented and acknowledged. You got to go back. You don't have that in recent memory. They do not push black players like that. Fernando Tatis Jr. and and I'm thinking with the Angels, they're two of the best players going right now, But you don't have African American players getting the love, And there's a problem with that, because it's just not the same. But anyway, please give me your thoughts and takes about Bob Brenly's racist remarks about Marcus Stroman's do-rag. And I think that turkey should be fired. Bump giving that fool a second chance. He been in the game far long. He know what he's saying. And he won a ring 20 years ago to the date, to this time with Arizona Diamondbacks. And he know exactly what he said. He meant what he said. And to use the late Tom Seaver, to use that for your racial agenda, your butt need to be up out of there. But please hit the like, subscribe, or welcome thoughts and comments. And I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. And, they've been able to mask it for so long, and he can't help himself. Because it's been allowed to go on like that. I'm out.